coming from NAR, the National Association of Realtors, for the first story here. 1 million delinquent homeowners haven't asked for forbearance. So homeowners who have failed to take advantage of pandemic-related mortgage assistance may be at risk of losing their properties, so foreclosing on them. A little more than 1 million owners nationwide are at least 30 days past due on their monthly payments and haven't entered a forbearance program or engaged their lender about some other financial solution, according to analysis from Black Knight mortgage data firm. About 680,000 of those homeowners have federally guaranteed mortgages and are eligible for a forbearance program to put their monthly payments on hold for up to a year without facing a penalty. Okay, so it seems like a lot of people don't realize that there are new guidelines around forbearances. There was a lot of information that came out when they first started doing the forbearances that they were going to be balloon payment options, where at the end of the year or at the end of a 1-year period or whatever your lender determined, you would pay every single thing, every single penny that you didn't pay all at once. So that's what a balloon payment is. Not a very attractive option to a lot of people. Many lenders also are offering such help to borrowers who don't have federally guaranteed mortgage, but borrowers must initiate outreach for the help for which they aren't required to prove hardship under federal rules. So people have to take it into their own hands. They have to take the responsibility into their own hands to reach out to their lender. You can't, especially if you're a homeowner, I mean, you just can't wait for things to come around and help you. You need to be proactive about it. Homeowners may not be reaching out to lenders because they're confused. Surveys show more than half of borrowers surveyed by the National Housing Resource Center in July say they were not aware of the forbearance program or didn't know how it works. Of consumers confused about their options, nearly 70% say they fear being required to make a large lump sum payment at the end of the forbearance period, which isn't true, right? So like we just said, balloon payments, they're not actually making people do that. That's what it was at first. There was a lot of news about it. Oh, don't do the forbearance. Even I was saying, don't do a forbearance at that point in time, because being obligated to make a balloon payment is a pretty big responsibility. But they kind of earlier on, I think it was in May or June, something like that they started changing it. So ask your lender what's going on. So some borrowers are falling through the cracks that were not picking up. Lisa Rice, president and CEO of National Fair Housing Alliance, told Wall Street Journal, "It's just a really sad series of events." Further, housing groups warn that the number of homeowners with past due mortgage payments could swell even more as people who are currently in forbearance reach the end of the program's terms in October. Those homeowners will need to request an extension from the lender if they need more time. Borrowers who are eligible to be in forbearance will preserve their options to avoid foreclosure versus those who became delinquent and have accumulated penalties and interest in a march toward foreclosure. So it's really, it just comes down to information and people needing to get the right information out there. So, this is partially why I wanted this to be the first story, because maybe one person, if even one person sees it that didn't know about this and they end up calling their lender and being able to work something out that helps them out more, do it, man. I mean, even if you don't really need forbearance, it's a good option, because why would you not? If there's no penalty, if there's no negative side to it, why would you not want to delay paying so that you can save that money, and gain interest on it, or whatever it is that you want to do? So adding on to this, U.S. mortgage loans in forbearance declines to 7.16%, right? So in addition to there being, I guess you could say in contrast to there being, about 1 million or so delinquent homeowners that aren't in any kind of forbearance or haven't reached out about it, we also have seen the amount of people in forbearance plans decrease by 4 basis points from 7.2% to 7.16% as of August 30th, 2020. So according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, 3.6 million homeowners are in forbearance programs. So that number has gone down a bit. The share of Fannie Mae Freddie Mac loans in forbearance dropped for the 13th week in a row to 4.8% on an 8 basis point improvement. Ginnie Mae, which is the government mortgage association, government national mortgage association, whatever it stands for, in forbearance increased by 4 basis points for the second consecutive week to 9.62%, while forbearance share for portfolio loans and private label securities decreased by 1 basis point to 10.43%. The percentage of loans in forbearance for depository servicers decreased 9 basis points to 7.4%, while the percentage of loans in forbearance for independent mortgage bank servicers remained unchanged. Okay, so this next sentence kind of wraps up what this is, what's really going on in layman terms. So the share of Ginnie Mae loans in forbearance increased again this week as the current economic crisis continues to disproportionately impact borrowers with FHA and VA loans. So as we can see, the total number of mortgagors in forbearance are decreasing, but the amount of FHA and VA loans, which are generally lower income individuals, has increased. Okay, so disproportionately impacting those borrowers, and that's not necessarily. I mean, we'll see how it plays out, but I mean that has been a trend throughout, and we'll see if it continues to be a trend. Labor market continued to heal in August with stronger job growth and a large decline in unemployment rate. However, the economy still faces an uphill climb and remains far away from full employment. High unemployment and jobless claims consistently around 1 million a week continue to cause financial strain for some borrowers, and especially for those who work industries hardest hit by the pandemic. Yeah, so a lot of the we're going to talk about this, I believe, in another story today, but a lot of the we're gaining all these unprecedented jobs and unemployment is going down and this, that, and the other. Well, that's compared to like the height of unemployment during the pandemic. So it's not like we're getting to record pre-pandemic levels. We're just starting to see some of the jobs coming back that were not happening because people were sheltering in place and quarantined. So I think that there's a lot of, not necessarily in this article, but I see a lot of like funny numbers happening where people are saying, oh, this, that, and the other is so great and fantastic. And it's like, well, it's only great and fantastic because for the months leading up, it's been devastating. So, I mean, it's good to see progress. I'm not saying that it's not, but what I am saying is that I've seen numbers that are portrayed in a way that it doesn't really tell the full story, and you got to be careful. Okay, you got to be careful how you read things and read in between the lines. Look at who's providing the information. Do they have any kind of bias? Right. This is all media literacy stuff. So.